What if I told you that one of the most intimate and fundamental acts that humans engage in, often regarded as a simple release of physical tension, is in fact a hidden treasure of immense power and wisdom? This act, often reduced to a mere biological function, is capable of unlocking access to realms of energy, insight, and fulfillment that few people can even begin to imagine. Imagine discovering that an energy many unknowingly squander on a daily basis could, when consciously harnessed, become the most potent source of vitality, mental clarity, and personal magnetism you have ever experienced. Throughout history, ancient esoteric traditions, particularly in alchemy and Taoism, have emphasized the profound importance of sexual energy. This energy is far more than just a mechanism for procreation. It is the most powerful life force, one that sustains and rejuvenates the body and mind. It is the very essence of biological existence, fueling the regeneration of cells, the nourishment of the brain, and the building of organs. In fact, it flows through every part of our being, continually renewing and vitalizing us. Yet, so many of us remain unaware of its incredible potential. The Taoist sages, with their deep understanding of the body and the mind, recognized that controlling and channeling this energy was key to mastering one's life. They taught that true power lay in the ability to master one's sexual energy. Rather than allow it to be wasted or expelled thoughtlessly, one could refine and redirect it to achieve spiritual and physical transformation. In this way, they believed, a person could transcend ordinary limitations and access profound states of health, vitality, and wisdom. In modern times, however, many people have lost touch with this sacred knowledge. Masturbation, often seen as a quick, mindless release, is no longer regarded as a tool for personal growth or energy cultivation. It has become an act of habit, sometimes even compulsion, devoid of intention or awareness. But what if I told you that there exists a sacred alchemical way to engage in this act, not for the simple purpose of release, but to cultivate, refine, and return that energy to the body and spirit, creating an expansive force that impacts all areas of life? The ancient Taoist masters, along with modern-day practitioners, such as Mantak Chia, have preserved and shared this profound knowledge. They emphasize that the secret does not lie in suppressing or rejecting one's sexual energy, but in learning to consciously control, transform, and redirect it. Through techniques such as sexual qigong and the cultivation of internal energy, one can tap into this inexhaustible source of power. Those who succeed in mastering their sexual energy unlock a treasure trove of benefits: physical rejuvenation, mental clarity, enhanced intuition, magnetism in social interactions, and even material abundance. This is not merely speculative. It is based on millennia of wisdom and practice that has transformed the lives of those who understood its depths. The principles of retention and the return of sexual energy have been guarded by secretive schools of thought throughout history, passed down only to those deemed ready to understand and apply them. In this exploration, we will unravel the teachings that have been considered sacred and reserved for initiates, bringing them into the light for anyone ready to embark on this path of self-mastery. You will gain insight into how ancient cultures conceived of conscious masturbation, not as a mundane or indulgent act, but as a powerful practice for spiritual and physical transformation. By learning to manage your sexual energy effectively, you can turn it into a tool for creating the life you desire. Sexual energy, when properly harnessed, has the potential to reshape your entire existence. This is not just about physical pleasure, it is a doorway to unlocking your true potential, your vitality, and your creative power. What you are about to learn is far more than a simple technique. It is a transformative journey that takes you toward energetic sovereignty. As you begin to understand and channel the energy that gives life to the body, you will find yourself capable of manifesting any reality you can imagine. In ancient civilizations, the management of sexual energy was considered a sacred art, a form of alchemy capable of turning the lead of ordinary life into the gold of spiritual and physical enlightenment. In cultures such as ancient China, the Taoist masters recognized the vital force contained in the sexual fluid known as Jing. This essence, far from being a mere biological substance, was seen as the concentrated form of life itself, a vital force that could be cultivated and refined to nourish the body and spirit. The Taoist wisdom teaches that every drop of sexual fluid contains a reservoir of vitality, which, if wasted through excessive release, diminishes the body's life force, weakens the organs, and shortens lifespan. However, when this energy is conserved, refined, and circulated through the body, it has the power to restore vitality, regenerate organs, enhance mental clarity, and expand consciousness. This practice, known as seminal retention, is a cornerstone of Taoist longevity teachings. In addition to retention, the Taoists developed the concept of the microcosmic orbit, a practice that involves moving sexual energy consciously through the body, circulating it from the sexual center up the spine and to the crown of the head. This flow of energy raises the practitioner's vibrational frequency, bringing about heightened states of awareness and spiritual awakening. Taoist immortality is not about rejecting pleasure, but rather about transmuting the raw energy of desire into a force that enhances every aspect of life, from health to spiritual enlightenment. Incorporating these principles into modern life can be a transformative practice that elevates your physical health, emotional balance, and spiritual depth. By consciously directing sexual energy inward and upward, you can awaken the dormant power within you, creating a foundation of vitality and clarity that supports all areas of your life. This path of sexual mastery is not just a technique, but a profound journey of self-discovery and personal transformation. It is the art of reclaiming your vital life force, elevating it from a mere physical drive to a source of profound spiritual and personal power. Welcome to the sacred practice of sexual mastery, where you will unlock the secrets of your own energetic sovereignty and begin your journey toward becoming the highest version of yourself. In Vedic India, the profound teachings of Tantra offered insights into the extraordinary power of sexual energy. Known as Shakti, this energy was revered as the most potent manifestation of cosmic vitality. Through sacred practices such as Mithuna, conscious union, and Bandhas, energy locks, practitioners learn to channel and elevate their sexual energy, guiding it upward through the chakras. This practice was designed to awaken the Kundalini, the dormant, fiery serpent that lies coiled at the base of the spine. As the Kundalini ascended, it led to a state of heightened consciousness, illumination, and a profound connection to the divine. Tantra emphasized that sexual energy was not just a force of the body, but a cosmic energy with the power to transform one's entire existence. Yet, the wisdom of Tantra was not confined to the East alone. Ancient traditions across the globe echoed similar principles. Medieval alchemists, for instance, spoke of the union of sulfur and mercury, symbolizing the masculine and feminine principles. This union, when achieved within the practitioner's subtle body, led to the creation of the famed philosopher's stone, a symbol of the total transmutation of the self. Alchemists were not merely interested in the transformation of base metals into gold. Their true goal was personal transmutation, raising their own vibration by integrating and sublimating their internal sexual forces. In ancient Egypt, the priests of Isis and Osiris practiced rituals designed to harness the the potent energy generated during sexual union. These rituals were not merely for pleasure, but were a means of directing this energy toward the higher centers of the body, creating a magnetic field strong enough to connect with celestial spheres. This allowed for the reception of higher knowledge and spiritual guidance. The common thread across these diverse cultures is unmistakable. Sexual energy was not to be suppressed, denied, or trivialized. It was recognized as a sacred force, a tool for evolution. When misused, it could lead to exhaustion, loss of power, and disconnection. But when consciously harnessed, it could bestow vitality, clarity, and spiritual expansion. Today, in modern society, this sacred knowledge has been largely forgotten or ignored. Masturbation, once a potential avenue for spiritual transformation, has become a compulsive and mindless act for many, stripping the sacredness from this energy. The act, when performed unconsciously, dissipates this vital energy rather than elevating it, leaving practitioners drained and disconnected from their true power. However, the ancient teachings remind us that we can reclaim this wisdom and apply it in our lives. Those who master their sexual energy have the power to transform themselves into the alchemists of their own destinies. In the following sections, we will explore how this energetic process works on a bioenergetic level and how you can begin cultivating this ancient power within yourself. To truly understand how the conscious management of sexual energy can transform body, mind, and spirit, it is essential to visualize the flow of this energy within our bodies. Picture your body as an ancient dynamo or energy generator, a finely tuned machine capable of producing vast amounts of vital electricity. In this system, sexual energy serves as the densest and most potent fuel, but also one of the most delicate. If expended carelessly or excessively, the dynamo overheats, wears down, and eventually loses its capacity to produce force. On the other hand, when properly managed, this energy can power the entire system, enhancing not only physical vitality, but also mental clarity and spiritual capacity. According to Taoist and Tantric teachings, sexual energy originates in the lower centers of the body, specifically the lower dantian, lower abdomen, or root chakra. In China, this energy is known as Jing, while in India it is referred to as Bindu. This energy is the raw material from which the body is built and life is sustained. It is no coincidence that the body expends significant resources in the production of semen and sexual fluids. These substances are rich in vitamins, minerals, amino acids, hormones, and enzymes that nourish every system of the body. When a person engages in unconscious and frequent masturbation, this vital energy is lost with each release, leading to fatigue, a lack of focus, emotional instability, and even long-term physical weakness. Ancient masters observed this loss and developed practices aimed at conserving and recirculating this energy. Rather than repressing desire, these teachings focused on learning how to consciously direct the energy generated by sexual arousal to other areas of the body. This process, known as retention and energetic recirculation, involves specific techniques such as contracting the perineum, practicing upward breathing, and engaging in conscious visualization. Through these techniques, the practitioner learns to move the energy from the genitals up the spine, through the abdomen, the heart, the throat, and ultimately to the crown of the head. This journey, known in Taoism as the microcosmic orbit and in Tantra as the ascent of the Kundalini, results in extraordinary transformations. Rather than losing energy, the body becomes revitalized, the mind clears, emotional imbalances are resolved, and a sense of spiritual fulfillment emerges that transcends physical pleasure. The process of circulating sexual energy in this conscious and purposeful manner brings a profound sense of wholeness and empowerment. As the energy ascends, it harmonizes the body, clears the mind, and opens up higher states of awareness. The practitioner not only experiences physical rejuvenation, but also gains access to higher levels of insight, intuition, and spiritual enlightenment. This process, which once seemed esoteric and distant, is accessible to anyone willing to commit to understanding and mastering their own sexual energy. In the following sections, we will explore these practices in greater detail, unlocking the secrets of sexual mastery and revealing how this ancient knowledge can be applied in modern life. By consciously managing sexual energy, you can tap into an inexhaustible well of vitality, clarity, and power, creating a life filled with purpose, health, and spiritual awakening. Welcome to the transformative path of sexual mastery, where your energy becomes the key to unlocking your highest potential. To truly understand the power of sexual energy, it's important to recognize the delicate yet profound balance that governs its flow. A helpful analogy here is that of a pressure thermostat. When sexual energy accumulates in the genitals without being consciously directed, pressure naturally builds up, often leading to an explosive release, an ejaculation. This is the body's natural response when energy is left unchecked. However, if instead of letting the pressure build to a point of release, we consciously open channels within the body, that energy is not lost, but rather distributed. It flows throughout the body, nourishing and energizing every part of our being. The beauty of this process lies not only in its ability to prevent wear and depletion, but also in its capacity to enhance sensitivity, vitality, and personal magnetism. Sexual energy is an incredibly potent force, inherently electromagnetic in nature. When recirculated, it has the profound effect of strengthening the auric field, which explains why those who practice these techniques often radiate a magnetic presence. Their natural confidence and charisma are amplified, as their energy does not dissipate or escape, but instead concentrates, refines, and expands, creating a powerful energetic field around them. Moreover, sexual energy's connection to the mind and creativity is equally profound. Ancient cultures understood that sexual energy was not only physical, but also the foundational force behind creativity, intuition, and manifestation. This energy, when raised to the higher centers, especially the heart and pineal gland, can amplify mental clarity, creativity, and spiritual awareness. Many of history's greatest creative minds and mystics practiced energy sublimation to unlock their full potential and intellect. Thus, the key is not about denial or repression of sexual impulses, but about conscious control and direction. By learning to manage this energy, what is often perceived as a mundane or even sinful act, such as masturbation, can be transformed into an act of internal alchemy. The body becomes a temple, and each pulse of sexual energy becomes a step toward expanding personal power and consciousness. It is a practice that leads to greater clarity, vitality, and spiritual depth. In the next section, we will explore more advanced techniques and methods for refining this art, focusing on how to maintain balance, avoid excess, and ultimately master this sacred force. But first, we must grasp an essential concept. Sexual energy is not simply about conserving energy, but also about the skillful and conscious redirection of this energy. To fully appreciate this, we must understand the difference between repression and transmutation. Many people, upon hearing about energy retention, fall into the trap of repressing their sexual desire. This approach creates blockages, emotional stagnation, and a buildup of tension, leading to emotional imbalances. Repression involves forcing the energy to stay locked within, preventing its natural flow. On the other hand, Transmutation is a conscious process, one where energy is not denied, but rather redirected toward higher, more refined purposes. To illustrate this process, imagine sexual energy as steam inside a pot. If the pot is sealed completely, repressing the energy, the steam will eventually build up until it explodes. However, if the pot has a valve installed, transmutation, the steam can rise and be used to power turbines, generating electricity. This is the essence of energy recirculation. To guide this energy in a controlled and beneficial way, Taoist sages devised practices like the inner smile, where gentle breathing and visualization direct the energy to nourish vital organs such as the heart, liver, and kidneys. This technique not only strengthens the organs, but transforms sexual energy into elevated emotions such as gratitude, compassion, and joy. These emotions enhance the practitioner's spiritual and emotional state, creating a sense of peace and well-being. Another key aspect to understand is the regulation of frequency. This is not about completely avoiding sexual release, but rather finding a personal balance that aligns with one's physical condition and spiritual goals. Taoist teachings suggest that, depending on a person's age, physical constitution, and health, the frequency of ejaculation should be adapted. For example, a young, healthy person might allow for occasional release without harm, while an older or more advanced practitioner would focus on retention and energy recirculation over a longer period. The principle of post-act vitality is crucial in understanding whether one has practiced energy conservation correctly. If after ejaculation one feels weak, drained, or mentally foggy, it is a sign that too much energy has been lost. However, if one feels revitalized, calm, and energetic, it means the energy was conserved and recirculated effectively. The goal, then, is not absolute abstinence, but an increased awareness of one's internal energy and how it is managed. Intention plays a significant role in this process. If masturbation is done out of compulsion or obsessive fantasy, the energy dissipates and fragments. But when done mindfully, through deep breathing, conscious visualization of energy rising, and setting an intention of inner growth, the act becomes a form of self-mastery and internal alchemy, an advanced technique to amplify the benefits of sexual energy transmutation is contracting the perineum. This muscle contraction serves as a pump, pushing the energy upwards along the spine. Combined with upward breathing and visualizing the energy rising as light toward the crown of the head, this technique refines Jing, sexual essence, into Qi, vital energy, and eventually into Shen, spiritual energy. It is through this process that the practitioner taps into a deeper reservoir of energy, which, over time, contributes to greater creativity, emotional balance, and spiritual expansion. Ultimately, cultivating sexual energy is not an end in itself, but a means to strengthen the entire energetic system. As energy is recirculated and sublimated, the body, mind, and spirit all benefit. The organs are fortified, mental clarity is sharpened, and intuition is heightened. The practitioner becomes more magnetic, emotionally balanced, and spiritually connected, all without relying on external stimuli. The ancient Taoist adage beautifully encapsulates this practice. Conserve your essence, refine your breath, expand your spirit. This is the path of the sexual alchemist, one who transforms fleeting desires into an eternal source of power. In the following section, I will share practical tips to help you begin this path of mastery and energetic self-cultivation. Through these teachings, you can unlock your inner potential and begin the journey toward personal transformation and spiritual evolution. Now that we have laid the groundwork for understanding conscious sexual energy management, it is time to bring this knowledge into our everyday lives in a simple, practical, and profoundly transformative way. For the true alchemist, wisdom is not just understood, but embodied and applied in each breath, each action, and every thought. The alchemist's path is not one of fleeting wisdom, but of mastery that is cultivated with every conscious choice. Here I will share 4 essential practices grounded in millennia of esoteric traditions that will help you either initiate or perfect the conscious cultivation of sexual energy. These practices are not merely techniques, they are life-altering ways of being. Let's begin. First, breathe. Do not rush. This is one of the most powerful yet often overlooked tools. When sexual energy rises, whether from natural arousal or during self-exploration, resist the impulse to rush towards climax. Instead, take deep, slow breaths. As you inhale through your nose, visualize the energy moving upwards from the base of your spine, gradually filling your abdomen or your heart. As you exhale through your mouth, consciously release any tension, allowing the energy to circulate throughout your body. This simple yet powerful practice not only calms you, but ensures that sexual energy is not confined to the genitals, but flows harmoniously throughout your being, nurturing every cell with vitality. Breath is your most loyal ally in transforming raw pleasure into sustained energy and life force. Second, root muscle contraction. The pubococcygeus muscle, the same muscle used to stop the flow of urine, becomes a powerful tool when consciously activated. During moments of arousal, gently contract and release this muscle in a rhythmic, controlled manner. This action directs energy upwards, preventing it from stagnating and being lost. Do this consistently, even outside of sexual contexts, as it strengthens your energetic foundation and creates a reservoir of power that can be drawn upon at any time. Over time, this practice will enhance your ability to harness your sexual energy and use it for your own spiritual and physical transformation. Third, clear intention and elevated visualization. This step is vital. Before you begin any practice, set a high intention, something that resonates with you deeply, whether it be health, clarity, creativity, or spiritual expansion. As the sexual energy rises, visualize a golden or white light spiraling up your spine towards the crown of your head or your heart. This visualization helps guide the energy to higher centers in the body, refining its frequency and amplifying its effect in your daily life. When we consciously direct sexual energy, we elevate it to a force of creation, a tool that serves our higher purpose, rather than a fleeting moment of release. Fourth, balance and inner listening. It's important to remember that this journey is not about rigid rules or dogmatic control. Listen to your body and trust its wisdom. If you feel excess tension or discomfort, do not force retention. Allow for a conscious release, but do so without guilt or compulsion. The key is to find your rhythm, to recognize when you feel revitalized and when you feel drained. It's not about abstinence, but refinement, quality over quantity. By listening to your body, you create a harmonious balance between cultivation and release, allowing for a sustained flow of energy that doesn't overwhelm or exhaust you. By applying these 4 keys with patience and consistency, you will begin to notice subtle yet profound changes. Increased physical energy, mental clarity, emotional stability, and personal magnetism will emerge, along with a deep sense of serenity that permeates every action. Well-channeled sexual energy has the power to manifest in every area of your life, not just in intimate moments. It shapes the way you move through the world, how you engage with others, and how you connect with your higher self. This is not a one-time change. It is a continual process of refinement, a spiral upward that reveals greater capabilities and deeper understanding as you go along. Remember, the body is your alchemical laboratory, and every conscious act of sexual energy cultivation is a step toward mastering your own power. The results of this path are not immediate but unfold over time. This is an ascending spiral, and as you move through it, you will unlock parts of yourself that were previously inaccessible. Throughout this journey, we have uncovered knowledge that has been hidden for centuries, guarded by ancient sages, alchemists, and mystery school masters. We have come to understand that sexual energy is not a mere biological drive or an act of fleeting pleasure. It is a sacred force, a current of vitality that has the potential to transform the body, mind, and soul. We have seen that when this energy is used carelessly or compulsively, the consequences are steep. Loss of vitality, mental fog, emotional imbalance, and a life disconnected from its true source of power. But when this energy is cultivated with consciousness, attention, and discipline, it becomes a fountain of renewal, clarity, and expansion. Now you stand at a crossroads. You can continue down the familiar path where energy slips away, like water through your fingers, or you can choose the path of the inner master, one who does not deny their impulses but elevates them, who does not repress their desires but transmutes them into creative force. The truth is simple. The power you seek outwardly already resides within you, lying dormant in every cell, every breath, and every pulse of your being. This knowledge is not meant to be admired from a distance. It is meant to be lived, experienced, and embodied. The journey does not end here. This is only the first threshold of a life where your body becomes a sacred laboratory, your energy a refined treasure, and your spirit a guiding light. If you feel this wisdom within you, share it. Allow others to remember their forgotten power too. Stay connected with this path. Subscribe to this channel, activate the bell, and like this video so that we may continue exploring the ancient teachings that have guided seekers of balance, mastery, and transcendent truth for millennia. Keep an eye out for upcoming videos where we will continue to reveal the mysteries of internal alchemy, esoteric techniques, and spiritual expansion. This path is infinite, and every step you take inward opens limitless universes outward. May the strength of your refined energy, the clarity of your mind, and the expansion of your spirit illuminate the way for you as you walk toward your highest potential. See you at the next threshold.